inserts his penis into the back part of anyone or the vagina of a woman, ghusl will be obligatory on both of them if both are mature. Alternatively, it will be obligatory on the one who is mature. So what is that?
So
Homosexual sex or what?
I was about to mention that. So notice, remember we said Muslims will say, "Oh, that's not Islam, that's culture." Remember, the law says if it's culture, it's Islam, right? But notice a person whose testicles have been cut off. Now, I thought that sodomy is the death penalty in Islam. What, am I wrong to have that impression?
No,
No,
that's
we
the
see it every
impression
day.
that they give.
But
It's
see,
part of
maybe,
culture that's the it's the misinformation aspect. It's culture.
yeah, if this is culture, bachabazi, then it's all good because it's in that culture, it is culture, it's normal, so it's law, it's legal. So understand, I don't think I need to fill in the blanks here for you guys. I think you guys have that. Okay, I'm going to show you this. This might be interesting. This one is called Islamic Homosexualities, and this discusses homosexuality in Islam. I'm not going to go into any depth on this. I'm just going to do one small thing here. All I'm going to do is show this picture. Excuse my okay. Let me zoom in a little tighter here. Sorry to offend everyone, but I did warn you in advance. This is
Okay, I'm thinking that picture. I'm just saying, with all these people having sex with little girls, I'm thinking that's an exaggeration in that picture because they can't be that big. I'm just saying,
sorry about that, but notice here.
A boy. That's a boy. It's not a girl. Wow.
Yes. Do you understand? This is, well,
That would be the
let's just
Baka boys. What?
bachabazi. Yeah. So do you understand? There are things in Islam. See, they have made out of all of you, they have created what I like to call Quran only Christians. Because if you only know the Quran, you know roughly zero about Islam. You know the Quran. See, studying the Quran will teach you the Quran. Studying Hadith will teach you the Hadith. It doesn't mean you know anything about Islam. Yes, you'll have an insight into some aspects. The Sharia is where Islam is found.
Yeah, that's where I had my eyes totally. Oh my God! Yeah, yeah. Reading the beginning of Reliance of the Traveler and coming into that passage where about the ghusl that just. Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're actually telling the truth when they tell us, you don't know anything about Islam.
Yeah.
Because
Right?
you're reading the Quran, because you're wasting your time reading the Quran. Stop reading that book. It's a waste of your time.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I do agree with that because that's what I see too. Is they're in a fight. They're not in the book. My question, Lloyd, is if the Muslims under a Muslim state, you know, are they teaching them the law so they won't break the law? Are they teaching them this Sharia?
Your parents will teach you. Everyone learns it from the imam, and the parents have to teach their children. Now, understand, they're not required to know. Okay, so from the what they call scholastic theology or kalam, the theological details, that they're not required to know because that will cause doubt. Because Islam theology falls apart when you take a cursory glance at it, you realize it's complete crap. That said, Muslims are expected to know how Islamic society functions. So these legalistic aspects, these regulations and rules, they are expected to have some knowledge of it, not to be complete innocents. Because I hate when people tell me, but the average Muslim doesn't know this. Then how come they always consistently do the same things if they don't know this?
The same things meaning what?
Well, Muslims behave like Muslims, not like Buddhists, not like Catholics tomorrow. They don't behave like Baha'i the day after that. They behave like Muslims every day. They must know these rules. People get beheaded consistently. People get terrorized when they leave Islam. People get killed. These Islamic rules get enforced routinely. So you can't tell me no one knows them if they are consistently maintaining Islamic practice.
Okay.
So this book is an encyclopedia of Islam dealing in a very simple way with the tenets and principles to practice in day-to-day life, which includes diddling infants. Let's have a look at that. Infant wife adultery. Is your infant wife cheating on you? Well, a husband who accuses his wife of adultery is disciplined If, of course, if you accuse your wife falsely of cheating on you, you are disciplined when adultery is impossible, such as when the person accused is a mere infant. Because
why would there be a provision? Okay, why is there a provision for a stop, Brad? Why would there be a provision for having a wife as an infant? What's the purpose of that?
Because maybe she was sleeping with someone else, but it wasn't her fault. She didn't actively, at 6 months old, at 2 years old, she didn't actively go out and look for another partner. The other guy seduced her. It's not her fault. It's the other guy's fault. But if you do it falsely, then of course you need to be punished, because how can you blame this poor innocent little girl, your wife, which you sleep with, of sleeping with someone else when she didn't do it?
But she's an infant.
Do you guys realize that Islam gives men so many ways? I mean, this is the perversity. I mean, in other words, you have every opportunity in Islam to commit all the bizarre sexual fantasies, beyond reproach, okay? All right? So if you go outside the bounds of this, then you deserve to get stoned to death, because you are totally full-blown beyond pervert of the highest level. If you,
I don't think you can go beyond the bounds of this. That's what it comes down to.
That's what exactly. How could you? How? Oh my God! What the? This is. I have no words.
Yeah.
And do you think Kenny knows this, Eric?
Probably.
Or
probably, and has to lie about it.
You know?
Do I think who knows about this? Would you say, Tommy?
Yeah. Do you think
my honest
Kenny?
belief is that he's aware of it and he just doesn't want to discuss it.
Guy, I can't hear what Connie said. What did you say?
Is Kenny Bomer aware of this?
Yeah.
Oh.
You think Kenny is aware of this?
If he is, then
he can't discuss it because it's illegal, because it reveals a weakness, reveals secrets of Islam. 2, he cannot discuss it because it embarrasses Islam. Anything that embarrasses Islam is slander, and is therefore a lie, even if it's true.
Okay.
Do you understand this? Sorry?
Well, my comment about this adultery thing is the men would have to plan ahead to catch the wife in this, in order to be able to accuse her.
Look, this is not something we understand, because this is not something we expect to have to deal with.
Okay, go back one, Lloyd. Right.
So sorry, my bad. Let me just go back for you, yeah?
Yeah, go back one. I wanted to get that. Now the other one. The one... No. Forward. No. You're back too far. Back too far. Next one. Go forward one. No, the next one. What was the next one that you had up? There was that one. What is that? Is that A12.2 or
12.2?
Oh, okay. 12.2. I'm going to look these things up, and they're going to get posted to my Reliance of the Trailer book. Okay, thank you. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's that. So I'll finish on that score there with that. Unless there's other questions, then I can go into different sections.
We got about 15 minutes left. So whatever direction that you want to take us.
Okay.
I appreciate you mentioning that part, because after you had presented that last Saturday, I was just completely disgusted. And I think we had Karen Thompson was on here a couple months ago, and I think she mentioned that, but it just kind of in passing and was not as detailed. That should enrage you if you have a soul.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at too. Is just like, if you know this stuff, why would you be lying about this? Why would you not want to get out of it instead of
it's a completely different moral system? It's a completely these people are left mentally.
This is one of the reasons
their
why
value system is
they're
altered.
Constantly called mentally ill instead of criminally competent. They follow a system that creates mental illness, and this system creates mental illness by having these beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And these are like Americans coming in, like Kenny, right? He came in at 17, got serious when he was about 30.
No, he was older than that. He was in prison. No, I'm sorry, he wasn't in prison.
Yeah, he said he got serious about, about 30 years old. He's 50 now almost.
I don't believe he was.
Jeez.
Do you understand why they need to focus you on the Quran? They need to focus you on the Hadith so that you never discover these sources, that you never examine the Sharia. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, I do now, sure.
All right, so what are we looking at now?
Okay, so I'm going to briefly talk about Hadith, because this will help to clarify for the audience a lot. Muslims will say that's a weak Hadith. Well, if it's a weak Hadith, it means it's 100% authentic. It's good to go. So this is I'm on page 12 right now. So this one, you'll find it if you go look for Fat or Bari, if you look for this word or this word in my collection, in my books, right, you'll find this. Now, we read the Hadith. Islamic scholars will tell you, don't waste your time reading the Hadith. That's toddler Islam. That's kindergarten Islam. The scholars read what is called the tafsir of Hadith, just like you have tafsir of the Quran, right? And the tafsir are not final; they're just opinions. The final opinions are what's in the Sharia, the ijma, the consensus. There's also consensus opinions of what the Hadiths mean. The most famous of the Hadiths, of course, are the collection called Da'if Bukhari, which you've all heard of. And of course, the most famous commentary on that is called the Fat al-Bari, okay, by Imam, Asqalani. So, okay, we're going to get to him in a moment. So I'm going to go back to page 12. And this is a collaboration, okay? This is a collaboration between two universities, Medina Munawwara, okay, this is the Islamic seminary in the city of Medina, the city of the Prophet, and Al-Azhar. So technically the two most highly revered Islamic seminaries on earth. And they are doing a retranslation of the Fath al-Bari, and this is an excerpt, and they're explaining Hadith, how they work for us. Okay, this is from the top Islamic scholars in the world. They say here, removing weak Hadith from works was not the example of the scholars. Otherwise, Imam Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani would not have included them himself in the Fath al-Bari as sources to take knowledge from. So this is the most famous. This is possibly even more revered than Bukhari's Hadiths. Okay, this is regarded as giving you the true insight, the true understanding. Just like the Sharia gives you the understanding of Islam, this gives you the understanding of the Hadiths. Okay. So weak hadith are used to support opinions because a weak hadith containing the words of Muhammad is preferred over pure opinion and personal reasoning, personal opinion, personal ijtihad, reasoning, right? Personal application of your thought to say, what does this mean? Your personal idea of, your exegesis, personal exegesis. So this is the example set by all the scholars, including Imam Bukhari himself, who used weak hadith deliberately in his other work called Al-Adab al-Mufrad. Everyone has heard of Da'if Bukhari. No one has heard of the fact that Bukhari has written other books of hadith as well, using not just the Sahih, but other grades of hadith. That work being the Al-Adab al-Mufrad. And the Sahih of Imam Bukhari is a collection of just the Sahih hadith specifically. It is not a collection of the only hadith that scholars should use. The scholars themselves state a Sahih hadith has about a 99 to 100% chance of being entirely accurate. A Hasan hadith has about a 85 to 99% chance of being entirely accurate. And a Da'if hadith has about a 45 to 85% chance of being entirely accurate. And this is the widest band of accuracy. Even a fabricated hadith has a 0 to 45% chance of being accurate, since the grading it was given may have been wrong, or the fabricator may have spoken the truth in this instance. So weak hadith should not be treated like fabricated hadith, because an 85% chance of being entirely accurate is a very high chance. So if a person received 85% on his test, would he throw that out, saying it's not worth anything? Every hadith is treated individually. You do not ban an entire grade from being used. Even fabricated hadith are still studied, because one scholar might grade it fabricated. Another scholar may grade it sahih, and there are many famous examples among the scholars of this occurring.
Wow. Okay, so we find this in, what page is this? You said this is on page 12 of this Fath al-Bari. Fath al-Bari. And this is an explanation of how the grading of the hadith. This is golden stuff right here.
Yeah, I've been hearing this for quite a while now. It's quite a statement. I mean,
yeah, because
you'll hear when you do quote debate or you do listen to followers of Islam talk, they do share this claim that that's a weak hadith, you can't count it. But again, that's misinformation. Either they're misinformed, because we can't tell, because Muslims don't always know their own faith, and if it's not, it's quite a statement that they're there to deceive. So it's quite a statement.
Okay, so now this book that you just cited there, Lloyd. This is a tasfir, or this is a commentary on the hadith given by Asqalani.
Yeah, Imam Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. This is very famous. Yeah.
Okay, when did Asqalani live? When was this joker alive?
It's a good question.
I'll look it up. I just thought maybe you knew off the top of your head. I'll look it up because a lot of these guys, you think of like Ibn Kathir, Al-Jalalain, and all of these guys that are making all of these commentaries on the Quran, or the tasfir on the Quran. They're cited all the time, but the only one that I really would consider that would be legitimate would be
Egypt 773.
Okay, well there you go. That's very close to the time of Muhammad. So you would think that there would be some validity or some type of legitimacy to this guy. For take Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas was a contemporary of Muhammad. Wasn't he like his nephew or something? So he would have a good idea of what would be considered authentic Quranic revelation and what wouldn't be. So this guy would have a good understanding of what is a sound hadith. Now, hold on a second. Wait, whoa. This is confusing now, because if Asqalani is providing a commentary on Bukhari's hadith, Bukhari didn't live until he didn't compile his hadith until 870. So that's not lining up. Let me.
What did I just do now? Oh, there we go. Yeah, we need to check that. No, he came after. He would definitely come after. So some members, which then left again, but he himself was born in Egypt 773. Unless this is 773 A8 calendar.
Okay, that makes better sense. Yeah. Okay, so
it's 700 years after Muhammad. 700 years.
Actually,
Please.
Could well be. I'm not certain, but you'd have to check it. I mean, you would have to look at this. Yeah.
Okay, so how do you spell this guy's name? How do you spell Asqalani's name? Is it Aqulani? Okay.
Asqalani.
Okay, you're pronouncing it with an S in there, though.
I'm sorry, I need to just fix this. Oh, darn it, I just did this to myself again. Bugger. Sorry.
Oh, there it is. Okay, AS. Okay, well, I have a U in here. Don't go on your kafir. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Let me just
Asqalani. Whatever.
Wait. That's come on.
Yeah, you'll see. Darn it. You'll see Imam Ibn Hajar. You'll see with an R sometimes here. After the A, you'll see an R.
1372 to 1449. Okay, so that makes all the sense in the world then. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry for interrupting there. We got about 5 minutes left in the show. So
So any last questions or comments? I think I've done enough. I can stop here, but anything from you guys?
That last part is like go, and you said that book that Fatah Al-Bari is in that treasure trove that you sent out.
Look, there's more to be said about hadith that is not discussed by Muslims. I can go for 2 hours talking about just hadiths and how all that stuff works, which is not the same information that you're familiar with. Because one problem I have is that someone famous, like say David Wood, with a big platform, he'll say the Quran says, and you know what? We need to stop talking about the Quran, because it's like here's the kindergartners, and they've learned the Quran. And then we come along as kindergartners, learn the Quran, and then we bicker over what that verse means. Quran, this one says it's black. No, this one says it's white. No, this one says it's black. This verse says it's white. This one says it's black. This one says it's white. And you see, the scholars are coming from this level. They've got a PhD. And then when they go to kindergarten, they're talking to the kindergartners from a PhD level, not bickering from a kindergarten level to a kindergarten level. Do you understand? So we need to come
I think,
from
however, I mean, I think the difference, where I may not always agree with this concept, is that the average Muslim doesn't read the Quran.
But then they'll
he
get
knows
bored. I thought
the
about
hadith
that
now.
too. Yeah, I thought
He
about
knows
that
the
too.
hadith.
Yeah, but if we don't see, they'll have to come up to our level, Paul. So if we don't give them the baby food, then they'll have to follow us. See, because we won't give them the baby food no more. We won't play patty cake with them with
Actually,
the Quran. Yeah.
You see, the Quran is designed to keep you stupid.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. That's Dr. Kufar and I are going through. We're doing a series called Dissecting the Quran, and that's exactly what we keep, saying. The Quran is clear as mud. There's nothing clear about it. I mean, you feel dumber for having read it.
Yeah. Can you see my screen? I'm just sharing my screen again. I want to. Sorry. May I show you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Oh yeah, I see you're busy sharing. Okay, I wasn't aware you were just. Okay, understand this. Okay, I'll be very brief. I'm gonna run through this real fast. I'm just gonna show the whole thing so that I can just talk about it in one go. Understand, Islam has 2 divisions and 4 levels. All right. Now, the 2 divisions are the Sharia and the Hakika. This is the quote unquote spiritual side. Think of it as the Gnostic side of Islam, the occult side. Okay. The Sharia is the legislative side. It is the law. It is the rules. Obey these rules. Follow these rules and you're going to go to heaven, right? You'll be perfect. The Sharia is about obeying the law. It is what's called the Zahir. The Muslims term it, the scholars call it the Zahir, the outer, the exoteric practice. It is the outer meaning, the outer practice. It's the external, outer, basic, plain meaning of the Quran verses and the Hadith, and the outer practice of Islam. So just do this stuff. Okay? It is the first, the plain level of meaning. But the scholars operate on what's called the Hakika. They operate on an entirely different level of understanding. This is the knowledge, right? The Hakika, the truth, the ultimate reality, the gnosis. Now, the Hakika is about knowing Allah, because the Quran doesn't speak about the personality, the character of Allah. But Muhammad is known as the Insan al-Kamil, the perfect man, because he had private revelation. You see, he had private revelation. He has the gnosis. He became perfect because Allah spoke to him directly. There was no public revelation, right? Not at first, anyway. Now, this is the
Allah spoke to him? Because
yes,
Allah
correct,
spoke to him directly?
In the cave, right?
Oh, okay.
Now,
in the
button. Well, technically, Allah didn't. Allah never spoke to him. Gabriel did, apparently. Right? This is the button, the inner, the esoteric knowledge, right? This is the inner, direct, personal knowledge, right? The experience. You took my sharing away. No, right? Sorry. This is the personal experience, right? The gnosis of Allah. Now, do understand, when you read the Sharia explicitly says, this is not my opinion. This is explicit across any number of Sharia books you want to go and investigate. Islam is not only, but Islam is a Gnostic religion. The Sharia says this over and over and over. Islam is a Gnostic religion. The scholars are Gnostics. Now, understand, there are 4 levels. Now, we've got the 2 sides. The second side, this Hakika, is forbidden to lay Muslims. The first level is for your lay Muslims and your lower level imams. The higher levels are for your higher scholars. They get the full package of Islam. Islam, this lower level of Islam, is known as Islam for the masses. It is called the Ibadah. Okay? This is what is imposed on the legislative subjects. It's called the Ibadah. Islam for the masses. Basic Islam. Islam for the idiots. Ishara is implied, allusion, a sign, gesture. This is the knowledge of Islam for the legislative practitioners as you go up the pyramid. Then you have the Lataif. The Lataif is the plural of Latifa. Latifa is the equivalent of what the Greeks understood as the what's the name of that? Sophia, the wisdom. The Sophia, except it's the gnosis, it's Gnostic knowledge, nuances, subtleties. This goes for the spiritual practitioners at level 3, the higher level. Then you have the haqa'iq, the reality, the truth. This is for the advanced spiritual practitioners. These levels 3 and 4, these highest levels, are reserved exclusively for the Sufis. The Sufis not only master the Sharia, right, this side of Islam, but they also master the spiritual, quote unquote, understanding. There are other reasons for this. I can't go into that right now, but understand the Sufis are the pinnacle, the elite within Islam. Lay Muslims only have to know the Sharia. The rest is forbidden to them, right? This secret knowledge, the gnosis, is forbidden to them. If you want me to show you, I will briefly show you this. I'm going to go to the Reliance and you'll see it here. Okay. let me just close this for a second. I know I'm speaking very fast, but notice when I type in the word GNOS, we have Gnosis, 18 references, Gnostic, 5 references, Gnostics with 3 references, and Gnostics with an apostrophe, we have 1 reference, right? So let me go through this, and you will see that, and this is not the only book to talk about this, the major scholars who founded the Sharia were mostly Sufis, right? All the major translators of all of these major books are Sufis. Their students were either trained with Sufis or were Sufis. Now notice they speak here of the spiritual station of annihilation in Gnostic vision. Gnostic vision? Gnostics? Let's continue.
Wow.
You must not stop at the first traces of gnosis. Okay? Let's continue. Notice other idiots that came before the Muslims claimed to have attained to gnosis and contemplative knowledge of the divine, to have reached nearness to Allah. Other fools have made that claim, but we, the Muslims, we have attained to the gnosis. We have attained it. The Gnostic, in his first states, as you learn to become a Gnostic and achieve these spiritual states, the Gnostic spiritual will, okay? Now, I'll stop there. I'm not going to go through every reference, and I'm going to show you one more.
That's in Reliance of the Traveler?
Yes.
This is in Reliance of the Traveler.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And notice it says here, now, Gnostics, the world is cursed, right? The world of matter is cursed. Well, in the Islamic law, it says, this world and what is in it are accursed, except for the sacred knowledge, notice, the sacred gnosis, and for those who learn it.
That's interesting. Right, so now, all the stuff in the Hadith where Muhammad would ask them a question, do you know about this and this and this? And they would say, Allah's messenger knows best. You know what I mean? So, I mean, they're afraid to answer on basic stuff, you know, like, oh, I don't know, why does the bee give you honey or something like that? You know, something stupid. Or why does rain fall from the sky? You know, and they would say, well, Allah and his messenger know best. You know what I mean? So, yeah, they're looking for that, submitting themselves for that secret knowledge that only
Yeah. And not wanting to say.
It's like those verses like Surah 11:1, I think it's Surah 10:1, all these, you know, those imaginary words that get made up, and you go to the tafsir and they say only Allah knows.
Oh, I can go into that for you as well if you want, and I can show you.
I think
you'd be surprised what the heck. Yeah, guys, we should end it, but there's a lot more to be said about that, and you'd be shocked.
Let's bring them on again, Eric.
Oh, please come back.
Like 9 times more, times 9.
Assuming we have a channel.
Well, we have a Facebook. At least it's coming through Facebook.
I have, where's the book?
But guys, it's 11 o'clock here. I need to do some work.
We gotta let Lloyd go. Okay, guys, let me close it up here. Let me close this up. All right.
So play my video.
We'll play your video. We gotta let Lloyd go. Okay, the guy's got to sleep. Good night.
Good night, Lloyd.
No, don't say good night now. I'm just saying good night. I'm just using that as a term. Would you guys let me host the show, please? Okay. So, okay, Lloyd, I'll be in contact with you to do this again. And I appreciate you so much coming on here and sharing all this stuff. I've got 6 pages of notes here that I took. I couldn't keep up with you. So what I'll do is I'll have to rewatch this thing, and not on YouTube, evidently, but I'll download it and then I'll rewatch it. And there's a couple things that I'm going to want to ask you again, but to have you on here, if we ever get our channel back, in the near future, and I know that the amount of work that you put in this is just absolute. I mean, where did you learn this stuff at? Did they send you like a Wizard of Smart School or to Hogwarts or someplace to learn this? Or
it's hard to explain, but most people who study Islam come at it, it's just Christianity with beards and dresses. Whereas I looked at it from a military threat doctrine point of view. And also I've studied criminals. I realized this is a criminal enterprise operating with deception. And I view it like I would the mafia. And I've worked with, I mean, in that sense, I've worked against, shall we say, violent criminals. So I understood there was a matter of deception going on, and that helped me a great deal in actually taking it apart and untying that knot.
Well, wherever you got this from, it's because every time I see on there with Jay and I see on there with like Adam, Adam never lets you talk, but you did a great job of talking on it. It was just absolutely phenomenal, and I appreciate you. So we're going to be in touch again to get you back on over here, and we'll start talking about. And I want to go to the hadith that you had spoken about. Stay away from the Quran. Okay, fine, we'll stay away from the Quran, but we'll go straight to the hadith, and we'll have a great discussion about that.
All right. Yeah, guys.
All right.
Thank you. Hope
God
you
bless
learned a lot.
Oh, I did. Tons of it. All right, so guys, we're going to end the broadcast. So
no, we got to play the video. Got to play the video.
Play the video. I will stay tuned.
Play the video.
All right, play the video. Play the video. Okay, let me find the video. I think I. Oh, look at the.
Share my screen.
Hold on just a second. Would you stop? I want to show you something here. I got a. Let's see here. We're like a dysfunctional family here. I'm sorry, boy. Okay, here I got. Let me see. Let me share this. I just got this email. Look at this. Look at this guy. Hold on. Where did it go? There it is.
So
that's who's behind it.
I don't know if he's behind. I don't think Kenny's smart enough to be behind that. I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll get it worked out. We'll get it figured out. And okay, Rad, go ahead and share your screen. All right, this is a promotion for next Sunday's show if we have a show next week.
Go ahead, pull it up. Sure.
Pull it up where? You want me to show it or you gonna show it?
No, I'm sharing my screen. You gotta let me share it. Go ahead.
I don't see it. Oh, there we go. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
Here we go. Shh, quiet. Here we go.
Oh, open it full. There you go.
Interpretation of Surah 9:5 is rendered incorrect. Okay. You tell me where it's wrong. You stop me where you see the part that's wrong. Okay. Well, which portion was wrong?
Do you realize that it's talking about specific polytheists? It's not talking about all pagans and all polytheists.
Well, he knows that.
Danny Davis, let me ask you a question. Do you recognize the fact that the verses are referring to polytheists that broke the treaties versus polytheists who kept the treaties? Do you understand that? Think about the stupidity of this guy. It was permitted for them to fight these individuals and slay them wherever you find them. Alhamdulillah. Okay.
I've seen it from the front angle before, but not from this angle.
So, Kenny, you're Muslim. Why haven't you brought out pounds from polytheists and killed them wherever you found them?
Well, that's a good question, Brother Abu Yazid. Let me give you an answer to that. Basically, because Allah says in the Quran not to fight those who are not fighting you first. And so I haven't had any polytheists that are actually trying to do actual combat with me. But if I did, then I would put these hands on them, and I would do a pretty good job of it, as a matter of fact, and to the best of my ability. But yeah, that's why, because the polytheists aren't bothering you. If they were trying to harm me or my family or members of the Muslim community, then I would be fighting them tooth and nail to stop that oppression. So that's why.
Oh, that's a good answer. Okay, that is a good answer.
It's the same type of character when it boils down to it, because it doesn't matter. Some of these people, they're bent on being an enemy of Islam no matter what happens. And these are the type of people that, unfortunately, if we live in a different period of time, or we lived in a certain situation, we would be at war with a Danny Davis. I mean, when it boils down to
it. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, you can be sure I'll be on the line looking for them. Break out your 9 and start busting shots at them.
And that's it.
You have way too much time on your hand, right? That was awesome, though.
That's Kenny Palmer.
Why don't you prepare intros like that or advertising for that every week? Right. Yeah. All right. See you, Lloyd. Thanks again.
All right, good night.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Good night, Lloyd.
Thank
you.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast here. There we go. End broadcast.